have so many thoughts. I have so much to say, but I'm doing a no buy. I'm here to tell you about it. My name is Claire. I'm 33. I live in Minnesota, and I need to spend less money on clothes. And I guess, maybe I don't need to, but I want to. I want to spend less money on clothes. So we're doing it this year. Let's go. Let's go. I'll tell you about the rules, of course, but I want to start with some of the goals and the values that are driving my process. So at the end of 2025, I had paid off some credit card debt, which I'd been working on the whole last year, and I was really excited. It had involved cutting back my spending, and so I'd cut back my spending, paid off my credit card debt, and then I was sort of looking ahead to 2026 with open, happy eyes. And I've been thinking about who do I want to be and how do I want to get there? And something that I have really struggled with is clothes and style and how I can purchase items to support how I want to dress and maybe the person I want to be. It feels very underdeveloped, but I have this fantasy self and who she is and how she dresses. And part of that was always that I wanted to have a trip where I could go to New York City in the fall for 3 to 5 days and have a budget that I could just use to spend on clothes and I could pay full price. I love the idea of shopping in person. I way prefer shopping in person. Also, this is my dog. And I wanted to shop in person, have money, and be able to buy the things that I wanted. And I always just assumed somehow I would get there. I don't know. I didn't think about it very much. I just knew that's what I wanted. And so this year I was like, if we want to do this, I need to set money aside for it because it's going to be expensive. So my no buy year began entirely out of a desire to save money to eventually go buy more clothes. And I was just going to not buy clothes in 2026. I was like, nah, I just won't buy clothes in 2026 and I'll save money. Okay, so I had that thought and I went to YouTube to try to watch some videos about having a no buy. And I quickly realized that I probably needed more structure than just don't buy clothes, save money, because that wasn't really a plan or rules or guidelines or a support structure or anything. So I came across Hannah Louise Poston's videos, who was a creator I already followed, and I did not know that she had started YouTube with a no buy year. So I watched a bunch of her content because I really appreciate her approach, and she had a ton of really good advice. So one piece of her advice, if I'm remembering correctly, is to try to make rules for every situation. To really have everything clued in, think about all of the times you might need to purchase during the year and make rules for those. And that helped me a ton. It made me think about how if I wasn't buying clothes, I might be buying skincare or makeup or hair products. And so I made rules around that too. And I then also thought about why am I doing this? What is the goal I'm trying to achieve? Sort of having a thing that I'm moving toward rather than a self that I'm running away from. So I want to start with the goals, I think, because as I really did some reflection and journaling and writing down ideas about how I wanted this no buy year to go, I feel like it really came together. So for my goals, my main goal is that I want to be dreaming my fantasy life and practicing going toward it rather than just hoping it will show up. So that's number one. And in taking a year off of shopping, I'm giving myself a break from shopping decisions. I spent so much time scrolling and in the stores just wandering, which I really enjoy. I like that, but it often was kind of disappointing because I was searching for something and that something was never quite what I wanted. And I didn't really know what I wanted, but I felt disappointed. So I want to just take a break from making any decisions about shopping because then there's no pressure. And also, of course, I will save money. So that was the original goal, was just save money for this future shopping trip to New York City, which I am doing. I have a high yield savings account and I'm automatically putting money into that account. My plan is to have $5,000 in the account by November of 2027. So I'm giving myself a year and a half to put that money away. The last of my goals is also that I really want to be thinking about my style and my preferences and maybe have a better vision of that. Maybe I write it down. Maybe I have mood boards. I've never been really good at Pinterest or collecting ideas. So I'm hoping that I can work on that. So I'm hoping to have a better sense of my style and how I want to dress in the next year after taking some time off. So those are my goals, really to focus on my fantasy life and what that might look like rather than just mindlessly shopping and hoping the next sweater, I bought this, would magically make me feel like my dream person. I think that whole journey of me to my dream person is way more emotional and self and kind of maybe even letting go of a dream self and trying to instead think about who I am. I don't really know, but I know it's not spending money. I know that spending money is not how we get there. Okay, so I've also been trying to make sure I remember my values and trying to make sure I understand the ways that my no-buy is in alignment with my values. So my values are connection, curiosity and learning, and simplicity. So for connection, I want to connect with myself and with others. I don't think shopping is doing that for me. In the next year, I'm hoping to connect more with who I am, what I want, etc. And that will hopefully also involve connecting with other people, and we can maybe use money to help me get that. But money does have uses, right? But it's not the solution. There has to be some foundation. Then for curiosity and learning, I really love learning new things. So I think learning about style and clothes could be a big one for me, and learning about myself, being curious about me and what I like and what I want. I think having some attention there would be great instead of just opening up an app and scrolling and hoping someone shows me what I want. I'd love to maybe be self-directed in coming up with ideas for what I want. That would be cool. And then simplicity. So I don't really want to have an overly complicated or full wardrobe or collection of things. I posted my makeup collection and that's pretty small. It fits in one bag. So I want to be able to express myself with clothes, but have something simple. And also my whole no-buy is meant to be really simple. So it's not complicated, nuanced. It's not that I'm managing my spending every month. There are just hard rules and we're following them. And to me, that is simple and I find freedom in that. So that is my values: connection, curiosity, and simplicity. Then I also really like the creator Ramit Sethi. I guess he's an author. Money guy, Ramit Sethi. He talks about money dials. And money dials are this idea that if you have your rich life, which does involve spending money, there are certain things you're going to dial up and you're going to spend more money on, and there's other things you're going to dial down and spend less money on. And so I actually typically identify clothes and general beauty things as a money dial I want to turn up. But this year I'm turning it all the way down as a way to sort of invest in my future self. That sounds kind of dumb, but I'm going to be saving money so that I can do this shopping trip later and also eliminate this mindless shopping, thinking it's a solution. So instead, I'm going to turn up some other money dials. For me, well-being is a huge one. And this is often physical well-being, but it also includes my therapy. So I have money dedicated to pay for my dance classes. I dance Lindy Hop, which is a swing dance. And then I have money for my therapy until I hit my deductible. And then I have money for a gym. I go to a gym where I get semi-guided training. And so those are something I'm really putting a lot of money into. Those are things I value a lot. I also think that freedom is one of my money dials. And right now for me, freedom is really related to my relationship, actually. I'm in a long distance relationship. My boyfriend lives in Chicago. And so I really value the freedom to be able to go see him when I want to go see him. And part of that means having money to do so. So for me, that's freedom. And it also involves being able to move to Chicago. So spoiler alert, I'm going to move to Chicago. But I'm putting aside money for my moving as well. So I save money every month for moving and to be able to go to Chicago when I want. And that's one of my money dials that I'm turning up. And yeah, I think that's it. Those are the two main things that if I'm thinking about buying or I'm struggling with that at all, I'm just going to remember that this is all in order to support other goals that are important to me, and that right now the shopping that I was doing isn't helping me get there. Okay, I feel like that was a lot of background, but I don't know. The rules are rules. The rules are rules. Okay, I will tell you the rules though now. I have quite a few, to be honest. So clothing is my main problem area, I would say, but I also included hair and skincare makeup rules. So let me talk to you about those first. So this year, I'm not going to buy any new kinds or types of product for hair or skin. So if I have like a face lotion, I can repurchase a face lotion, but I'm not going to start using like a serum because I don't use a serum. I'm not going to start using a hair oil because I don't use a hair oil, but I use like a hair mask. So I will repurchase a hair mask. Does that make sense? So I don't want to be like out trying to find the next best thing. I'm okay with just the small products I have, and I'm okay to replace those. So it's the other part of the rule is that replacing empties is okay, but I don't want to maintain or purchase any back stock. I'm already pretty good at this. I just don't want like extra stuff hanging out. I am totally okay if I want to experiment, because let's say I run out of shampoo. I actually already know that there's a different type of shampoo I want to buy. I'm going to buy that one instead. But the idea is I'm not collecting a bunch of new products. Then for my makeup, I'm going to use up everything I already have, and I'm not going to buy anything other than concealer, foundation, or my primer if they run out. So I'll replace those things if they run out, but any of the other products I'm going to just wait until the new year to buy because I don't need them. And also my last rule in this area is that I'm not going to buy any hair, skincare, or makeup extras. So like no new hair brushes, no new makeup brushes, no new containers to put this stuff in, no new organization, all of this. I really like all of the like tools that go with these categories, so I'm just not going to buy any of that either. I really just want like hands off in this part of my life. Okay. Next, we have clothes. I think this is where the hardest things for me will happen. So in the past, I would just go to the mall for fun. I'd wander around, which I do really like. I probably will still do. But then I would inevitably buy things. I wouldn't buy that much, but like I'd say once a month I was purchasing an item at the mall. And that adds up because I buy nice things, to be honest. So we're going to buy no clothing this year, other than a few exceptions. So I made a no clothing rule, not at all. But I thought through my year and where I might end up wanting to buy things and made some rules for those exceptions. Okay, so I work at a community college, and at the community college, we don't have like a uniform, of course, but most people wear like branded college gear. So it says like the name of the college on it. I don't know what it is about my college, but this is like how people do it. So I really like to have like work shirts that I wear to work. And so I have like 2 work sweatshirts, and I have 2 shirts that have the college on it. This has just helped me have like something simple, right? Where I know what I can wear to work, and it's like these clothes. I wear other stuff too, but I'm going to be able to buy up to 2 new work shirts from the bookstore at work. That's at the college, right? So this isn't very much money. They're always under like $30. So I can buy 2 of those if I want to have something to wear to the office. I also put in a rule that I could buy 2 or 3 new workout shirts for the gym. So I made this rule because I knew in January I needed to purchase some workout shirts. I tried to do it before the year was over because I did panic buy stuff, okay? I panic bought stuff. But I needed to like try things on in person. And so I actually ended up purchasing like stock t-shirts from the Comfort Colors from like a wholesale website that sells the shirts, because I had a shirt like that I was already wearing to the gym. But it was like really worn out and I didn't like what it said. So I just bought myself plain ones. So I already bought my 3 workout shirts for the year. So that rule is already handled. We have my shirts for the year. I also am allowed to buy up to 2 new sets of pajamas. So I am really fussy about my sleep, like real fussy. I just knew that I might need to buy new pajamas in order to be comfortable. So I have up to 2 new sets of pajamas. I don't wear very complicated stuff to bed. I just want it to feel a certain way. And so I don't want anything impeding my sleep. So we have that rule. Another of my exceptions is that if I'm going on a vacation and there's something I specifically need for the vacation, I can buy 2 or 3 items for the whole year for that. So I can't really imagine that happening. I think I have everything I need, but I didn't want to get into a place where I was trying to like barter with myself and like say like, well, I need this because I'm going on the vacation, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're just going to do 2 or 3 items. That might even include like a sunscreen or something. I don't know. That might include not clothes, but I have that on here just to cover my bases. I really don't want to be second guessing myself this year. We have the rules set, we're following them. Then I also, I mentioned this before, but I dance Lindy Hop and I go to events, and at the events, they usually have like a shirt for the event. I really like, you can tell I just like wearing shirts that come from the thing for the thing. So I almost exclusively wear dance shirts that I buy at events to practice dance in. So if I'm taking a dance class, I wear a shirt from an event and it's sort of like my uniform to go. I think that's kind of a minimalist thing maybe. I just like to know what I'm going to wear and to have separate clothes for that thing. So I'm going to buy a shirt at each dance event I go to if I want to. I don't have to, of course. And that's up to 3 shirts. So it might not be that many. I think there's for sure 2 dance events I'm going to this year, and I can buy a shirt at those things. Again, these are really like low spend items, and I know the use of them. So yeah. Then we have a few like replacement related rules. I wear these like very cheap white socks to the gym, and I don't wear shoes at the gym. Just don't. And so my white socks get kind of worn out. They're not expensive, but I'm going to be allowed to replace those. So if those wear out, I can get new plain socks. No like other fun socks, but the plain socks. And also I'm fine if to buy like new bras or underwear, but only if I can really justify the old ones that don't fit anymore. So I've been like losing some weight. My body is changing and I'm kind of due to purchase new versions of these, but I don't really know. I just could feel that like I don't want to be going around without like feeling supported by like a bra or like good underwear. So I put that on here. I'd really need to justify that the old ones don't fit though, and we're not there right now. All right, then my last couple rules is that I'm not allowed to use store credit or gift cards on anything that is clothing, hair care, skincare, or makeup. So like if I consign some clothes and get credit, can't spend that this year. I have like REI credit from when I thought I was going to be camping. I don't like camping, but I had spent all this money, so they gave like I got like a membership credit. I can't spend that this year. So that will be spent next year. That's fine. I also have that buying gifts is okay. So I can buy gifts for other people in these categories. I can also accept gifts. So if it's like my birthday and I want to request some sort of item of clothing, I can accept a gift. That's all right. And I'm also okay at Christmas time when we get there, I'm going to purchase Christmas pajamas because my boyfriend and I had matching Christmas pajamas this year. I loved it. I want to do that next year. So I will buy Christmas pajamas next year as well for the 2 of us and maybe like his family too. I don't know. That's a freebie. Also, I think that my no-buy will end at Christmas. I might decide to do it longer than that, but I am giving myself permission to like have Christmas. And then this year it seemed like there were a lot of good opportunities to buy things between Christmas and New Year's. I actually noticed that a handful of the items that I had purchased during the year had gone on sale. Like the same item was like on a closeout sale. And I find this happens to me a lot. The clothes I choose to wear are often things that aren't getting sold out right away. There are products that like end up on the sale site eventually. Like some things I bought at Nordstrom ended up at Nordstrom Rack. That feels sort of unusual. I'd imagine like most of the popular clothes get sold. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to be able to, in that last little bit between Christmas and New Year, that's like, I'm not counting that. That's past the no-buy. So we'll get to no-buy through Christmas and we'll see what happens after that. Yeah. And anything I decide I want between now and then, we'll just save in a wish list. So that is my no-buy. That's what we've got. No new hair care, skincare, makeup, or clothes, except replacing empties, and clothes don't have empties. All right. Thanks so much for being here. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to know what you want to hear more about. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. I'm so glad to have you. And I think I'll probably be back with like a hair, skin inventory because I don't have very many of these products. I think it'd be kind of interesting to show you what I have. And I'm also in the works to catalog my whole wardrobe because I'm going to start exploring my clothes a little bit better. So thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.